this is what we've been working for all year. This is where the hard work starts. We win a bit of heart, we show a bit of passion, and we show a bit when we're from Cross, and this is how we do things.
For the people in this town, Gaelic football is a passion, an addiction to winning, forged from blood, sweat and sacrifice.
The white heat of battle, that's what it's all about. Every ball's a prisoner. It's do or die.
It's also a way of life, a refuge, a lifeline.
It's not important, life or death.
For decades, life in this town was unremarkable. But after the outbreak of a brutal sectarian conflict, it became a place apart, the heart of a no-go zone, known as Bandit Country. Despite the dangers, a group of local children came together to forge one of the greatest football teams in the country. Two of those boys are now men, and they are about to dream the impossible again. This is the story of Crossmaglen, a town determined to be known for sporting greatness, a town driven to keep the dream alive for generations to come.
The only team in Ireland that'll beat us is ourselves.
This is what we were born to do! Born to do!
Well, how's things?
Well, how are you?
Good. Yeah, you got some for us?
Here.
Packed and all.
Here, packed and all ready.
Hold on, thank you. I'll take the nice ones. Thank you.
That's great, thank you. That's kind of the central part of the town, it's touching being the square. Do you know what? In 20 years it hasn't changed an awful lot.
A lot of the faces around the town stay the same, and you go into the bakery at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, you see the same faces there as you might see at a football match on a Sunday. There's me and John played our trade, believe it or not, as in kicking ball and playing kerbsies and kicking each other.
Isn't it the fact that you can do it for as long as you want and you haven't harmed anybody? You can do it for as long as you want and always get better.
As Gaelic footballers, Oisin McConville and John McEntee were All-Ireland medal winners.
Is he injured again?
Chatting about the weight issue, you know.
As the new managers of Crossmaglen Rangers, they're hoping to create the most formidable Gaelic football team in Ireland.
I'm making a cup of tea here for the boys before the championship. This started a long, long time ago and I'm afraid to stop it in case it brings them bad luck.
Margaret McConville, Oisin's mum, has been making tea and buns before championship games for the past 20 years.
Plenty of them here and they're hid behind the box there. Paul and me are here the longest, aren't we?
I'm here from 95, you're here
Yeah,
from
here with the same. It's a way of life, always has been and will be till I pass out some of these days.
This is a new era for everybody, boys, okay? Let's start off and let's be positive.
Never give up, lads, regardless of what the score is. Is that clear? Yeah. From this first minute, lads, we go out, we walk our socks off.
Let's go,
Crossmaglen's dream
I'm going to have to stop taking it as a given, boys.
is to win the All-Ireland Club Championship in Dublin's Croke Park Stadium on St Patrick's Day.
Go! Ah, brilliant. That's the start you want.
But first, they have to win the Armagh County Championship, then the Ulster Championship.
Well done, Johnny! Lads, let's get sharp around here. We're starting to slacken off. All right, keep it here. Keep on, Cross. Stay with them. Brian.
All stewards in outmatch position.
Cross are through to the second round of the County Championship. They'll need to win the next 2 games to reach the final. Gaelic football has been a passion in Crossmaglen since 1887. In the early days, life off the pitch was largely uneventful. But once a month, the town square became a hive of activity.
There used to be a fair day. The pubs used to be full and there used to be awful crack in this town for 3 or 4 days.
If you want a good fighter, man, you want to come to me.
I'll think of you. Someday for the roof stars and the link.
Come for me, yeah.
Good man yourself, please.
For days, people were waiting around to see this fight. The king of the travellers, or the king of the gypsies, or whatever it was, to have that fight in your own town, it literally was unbelievable.
Yes, Dan's eye is open. If someone else raises a fist, there could be awful trouble. Yes, Dan is moving in here for the kill.
The funny thing was that I remember going into the video shop and I remember sitting up in the corner with us, the king of the gypsies fight. You could rent it out and take it home and have it for a couple of days.
The locals even developed their own language.
Well, Munya is great. Rolla, somebody who's mad. Fane is a fella. Bure is a girl.
Even the youngsters now, Oisin's wee fella, I give him ice cream or something one day and he says, Granny, that was Munya.
We all talk it. When you go outside the cross, you actually realise, oh, we need to think about what we're seeing here because nobody else understands us. Mentally, lads, we have to be strong. The battle is not with anybody else, but with ourselves.
Round 2 of the Armagh County Championship. But some of the other team haven't turned up. Drummondtee officials are worried the whole club could be penalised if they don't field the team tonight. Substitutes are hastily arranged.
Why did somebody not let us know?
I'm 50 years of age. Do you think I want to be?
I know that.
You know?
But I know that.
There's no high moral ground here. I'm here because the children don't think you can play football next year. There's only age gone out here.
You know. Men of 50 years of age, we have to respect them men and what they've done for their club. But we went about it the right way. We played the match and we're into the next round, okay?
That would have been the house I grew up in. Summers here were the best days of my life. We'd play football from morning to night, and if you get bored, we would have went out and we would have got pieces of wood and metal and old net, and we would have made football nets. This is where it all started.
When Jamie Clark was old enough, he honed a reputation as one of the most talented players of his generation on the local Gaelic pitch.
This is just a diary. It's kind of your own personal sort of thing. I would record, you know, my scores from different zones. I would take certain shots depending on what I need worked on the most. Then I just have sort of little mottos and all, just different little quotes and that though. Kind of keeps me grounded as well and grateful at the same time. person who does many things differently and often independently makes perhaps the biggest difference of the highest significance for the greatest excellence in everyone's life. I suppose for me, it's about leaving a legacy and, you know, trying to be as best I can be.
Hi, Kevy.
But Gaelic football is an amateur game, so it has to fit in around day jobs and family life.
Good morning, how are you? Good. What's the crack today? Good. You being a good girl?
Good. We have to go to get a breakfast.
You're going to get your breakfast, right? Sure, hey, I'll talk to you. I'll give you a buzz later on, alright?
Yeah, bye-bye.
Paul Herty, at the age of 36, has been Crossmaglen's goalkeeper for 2 decades. He splits his time between playing and working as a milkman.
Croker. Drive fast every day, home of football. This is where all my ashes spread. The dream is Paddy's Day coming back here. You can always dream. Sport has really put the town on the map in a totally different context, which is great for the area, great for the club, and great for the people in the town, that they can associate themselves with something else other than what did go on before.
The first hint that Crossmaglen was to become a place apart came in the early 1920s, when a border was drawn across Ireland. The town teetered just 1 mile north of the new frontier. A no man's land of sorts.
I didn't really feel I was from the north or the south. I knew what my address was to write it down on a piece of paper. But like when I wrote my address down on a piece of paper, I just wrote Ireland. And that's the way it was. We were a little island cocooned in the middle of the whole thing.
But when Northern Ireland erupted into violence, the arrival of the army in the 1970s changed everything. A new base in the largely Catholic town was resented.
The atmosphere in the village itself is not a particularly pleasant one. It's not so much that the people are hostile, it's just that they totally ignore you. We try very hard to talk to the locals, but they just give us very little response. If you're very lucky, you might manage to get a good morning out of them occasionally.
The simple question from a young lad was, what are you doing? What are they doing here? Do you know what I mean? That was one thing that, you know, we could never understand. I mean, if you can see where the barracks is now, that's sprawled right over to the football field. Lookout posts on every road as you come into the town.
We maybe didn't feel safe to be close by them. Maybe you're driving in a car behind a police car, you kept your distance for maybe potential for booby traps and things like that there.
If there was an army checkpoint on the way down, I mean, they'd just step in front of you and you'd have to step past them, and you know, it's just antagonising people, and that's why we didn't say hello. It wasn't a done thing.
Security forces stationed in the town were a constant target for the IRA. Throughout the conflict, nearly 200 were killed or injured in the area. Crossmaglen gained a reputation as the heart of bandit country.
We're approaching Crossmaglen now, just about a mile north of the border. This is without doubt the worst area in the whole of Northern Ireland. It's been responsible for 1 in 6 of all the security forces killed in the present campaign in Northern Ireland. It just happens that everybody who lives in this particular area is violently pro the IRA, and therefore it's always been a stronghold of Republican feeling, and I think has now identified itself more closely with the cause or the struggle or whatever, the terrorist campaign, than any other particular area.
Some assumption to make for somebody flying in a helicopter over your town, like. There was never any pressure to join the IRA.
But I know for certain I was never asked. Too busy playing football, too busy getting educated, too busy trying to get on with life.
Scared shitless of it, to be honest. It's late for death.
Yeah, if you joined. You run the rest, don't you?
Great Irish people, we die for Ireland, surely, but not in those circumstances, not just to take a gun and shoot another man. That's nothing to do with All Ireland's or anything else. The violence just did nothing for me because of my own son. Thomas was the oldest boy and the apple of his father's eye. He hadn't much interest in school, but he learned Irish and he was brilliant. And he got a scholarship to go to the Gaeltacht, to the Irish College. He was 16 and a half and he never came home. He was only there a week and he was drowned there. On the Sunday, before he died on a Tuesday, well, on that Sunday, there was a soldier blowing up down at the corner there. There was a bomb on a bicycle. His mother's door got a knock that Sunday. My door got a knock. It was the same grief and the same hardship and just, you know, the trauma of it all and losing your son.
Jesus said, I am the way, the truth and the life. No one can come to the Father.
Sometimes I wonder, like, what would you be doing without the GAA? I don't know what I'd be doing. If I hadn't it to look forward to, I just would have nothing to look forward to. I mightn't be here at all. Through bereavements and sad times and that, it got people back out. I think that's what the GAA is about. It's that important. Life or death. Just have him there because he's with me every day. When you see the children coming in now, no, it's Uncle Thomas, you see, you just like to keep his name alive, you know, as best you can.
Crossmaglen have made it through to the Armagh County Final.
Pull in, come on, pull in. Everything on 3 and 4. We let it all out today, boys. We use our heads, boys. Let's play football. Let's get the ball in. If you're not having an effect on the game, boys, go and fucking have one. If we have to get the respect, we put our hand down their throat and we pull it out. Come on! Okay, well done, lad. Let's keep it here. Take your drink, get a bit of shape. Come on. We should be destroying this team, boys, and we're not. All we want, boys, is score after score after score.
John and Oisin's half-time team talk pays dividends. Crossmaglen have won the Armagh Championship. The next challenge is Ulster.
Love my job. And do you want to know what's the very best thing? Seeing a few lovely ladies throughout the day. And we just love winning. You know, if you're not going to go to the top and be the best team in Ireland, there really isn't no point to it at all. You know, it's all or nothing. for John and Oisin in particular, like, for them two men alone, I'd love to win an All-Ireland, because I think if there's anybody ever deserved it as managers, it's definitely them two. There's a saying we have, you know, where we come from, that you go through a wall for someone. But them two guys, I go through a wall for them too. Another one done, and that's us for the day. Back up to sunny Crossmaglen. There's probably going to be lashing rain for training.
Hon! I grew up in my Oisin and watching him play football and wanted to kick football like him. But he used to love watching John McEntee swinging points from 50 yards out with his left foot. And when you're growing up watching all the boys and looking up to them and you're following their footsteps, it means everything. Have to win. Afraid of losing. Fear of losing.
It's the first round of the Ulster Championship.
This is us on to a new level, boys. The country's watching us today. That should fill your heart full of joy, boys. Because we're the best around, boys, and that's what we're going to show today.
You're going to be challenged today. Not from Omar, from me, from Oisin, and from every man around this circle, lads. Are we up for the challenge?
Yes!
Come on! Come on! Come on!
Is he charging? Referee says no, play can continue. The ball is there to be won. Crossmaglen fires and fired. So too is McEntee. It's in the hands of the crossman. Here they come again. Oma 1 point ahead. Who could create a massive upset. Ron O'Neill, he will shoot. This could seal it. It goes to the over the bar. Ronan O'Neill, a goal and 4 points today. That one with his left foot, majestic effort. Brannigan looks at the watch. Brannigan calls for the ball. It's all over. And Omagh, incredibly, have defeated Crossmaglen. Quite magnificent second half performance. You could argue that Crossmaglen were the architects of their own downfall by having 2 men sent off, but take nothing away from Omagh.
Today, boys, were failures. We said at the start of this whole journey, boys, there'll be only one team that will beat us, and that will be ourselves. And that's the pill we have to swallow today.
We were beaten because we lost the road ourselves. It's a bittersweet pill, lads. We have a lot to bear. And it's sickening. It's sickening.
Almost a huge disappointment. Not because you were beat, but the manner in which you were beat. They eroded our discipline like nothing ever beforehand. If you asked the fellas, probably, if they were honest, they'd probably still raw with them, you know.
You know, you think it gets easier every time, or it actually gets worse every time you get beat. It's not a nice place to be.
You're letting yourself down, you're letting your family down, you're letting your community down. It's more than football, a lot more than football. It's just a bond we have with each other, and like a band of brothers, or who to call each other.
You make lifelong friends through the football, you know, and that's a huge part of it as well, you know. What is the meaning of life? People sometimes ask. Living it to the best of your ability, I think, and you can only live life as it comes in front of you, as you see it. And you just try and take it on the chin and move forward.
You have to want to win and be hungry to win. I think that's more important than anything. And I know that our boys has that belief.
Why not go and do it right? Fucking win something. And get these boys to achieve what the previous generation have achieved. For years we used the Troubles as the old crutch. You know, this is why we're not doing well. All of a sudden then we started to use it as a, you know, a siege mentality, if you like. Despite what was going on, we were still going to be successful in the football field.
We didn't want anybody telling us we couldn't do this or couldn't do that. Some people might say there's an arrogance about us, but it's not. It's the fact that you tell us we can't do something, of course we're going to do it. You know, you tell us we can't win, of course we're going to prove you wrong.
As players, Oisin and John helped Crossmaglen win its first All-Ireland Club Championship. Since 1996, the club has also won an unprecedented 18 out of 19 county championships, 10 Ulster Club trophies and 5 more All-Ireland finals.
To achieve something that brought complete joy to Crossmaglen and the whole of Ulster was a sight to behold. We did that with a bunch of fellas from 5 mile radius who were best friends right through.
Wasn't it great to stick the 2 fingers up and say, regardless what you do, you can land your helicopters here, you can build your barracks on top of us, you can stop us, throw our clothes out in the street, throw our bags out, you can chase people going to training, you can try and intimidate us, but fuck yous, we're going to win an All-Ireland anyway.
As they prepare for their second season as managers, Oisin and John are more determined than ever to build on the town's sporting legacy.
Simple things, time after time after time.
It's May and the 2015 season is underway.
There's a few boys playing in different positions than they used to. Suck it up, boys. So what? You could be there for the rest of the year. How do we enjoy the game, boys? By doing the right things, boys, and by winning the game. Come on, Stephen! Move it, Mickey, move it! Let us play on, will ya? Clown ya. Take it over, Jamie! Take it over the bar!
Crossmaglen are through to the second round of the Armagh Championship. But John and Oisin have asked the team to stay behind.
John, Marta, Danny and Gavin, do you know why you weren't playing today? Boys weren't playing today because they were drinking at the wedding.
At the start of this season, the managers imposed an alcohol ban 9 days before every game. They've discovered 3 players flouted it before today's match.
There's no integrity in this room. None. And anybody who thinks that they are going to suck the energy out of this group, or take away anything from this group, they're gone. I had an addiction, boys, and I went to a treatment centre in Galway. I spent 3 months there. And I met a nun on the way in the door and she said 2 things. Be positive and stick with the winners. Stay away from negativity. 14 years of age, I started gambling. Did a simple bet on the Grand National and fell in love with it. It just spiraled out of control from there. The best way I can describe it is when you see people strung out on drugs. You see very vivid images on TV of people who are strung out on drugs, heroin or whatever, and they'll do anything to get the next hit. And for me, that next hit was just putting on a bet. And when I got that bet on, I felt relief. I was financially bankrupt, emotionally bankrupt. There's no self-respect, no self-esteem, no integrity. All those things, takes all those things away from you. I would seriously consider suicide. And I didn't know what way I could get out of the trouble that I was in. When I think back on days like that, I'm so glad I spent the next 10 weeks in GAA sticking with the winners and being positive. Unless we're willing to knuckle down and really do that, boys, we're just going the same place we're going last year. It's up to you to see whether we can change that or not. John.
Throughout the conflict, Crossmaglen's resolve was tested by the army, who commandeered part of the club's pitch to extend their base.
They took over the club. They were in the surrounding area and up tight nearly to the goals and all that.
It was just the occupation of our grounds. Low-flying helicopters coming in when you're trying to play a game or trying to train.
Remember those ones that landed on the pitch, like, the train had to be stopped. You just have to dig deep and push on.
People often associate the resilience and never say die attitude of Crossmaglen, and they attribute that to the Troubles, you know. And that might well be the case. We knew that the Troubles were there and we were affected in many a day by the Troubles. But we chose to ignore that as best we could.
But for some, the scars of the past continue to leave their mark.
I don't know whether it's the Troubles or whatever in the past. You know, it definitely has affected people. There's over 15 pubs in Cross. It's a huge part of this town, and it's a cultural thing, you know, to go on, to go to the pub or whatever, and being part of that sort of whole alcohol circle and being part of that environment. You know, it's not easy, you know.
Crossmaglen is just weeks away from the second round of the county championship.
The best pitches around.
But Jamie has started to question his future with the team.
I just feel that there's a lot more to me than, you know, living in a rural town. It's not that I can't fit in here, it's probably that I don't want to. Like, ultimately, the only reason I am here is because of football. I don't enjoy it as much because of the pressures of having to win all the time and wanting to just win for the sake of winning, and so nobody else can win. And you know, it's not about having fun and enjoying the game, you know, anymore.
I suppose when you think about it, you know, the commitment and the effort required is pretty crazy. Now, do you want something to eat? What do you want? Do you want any pancake? It's something that you have battles with yourself in your own head. You know, why am I going out here again? Why am I doing this? Football has taken a front seat in my life for so long now. And, you know, it's coming to the point where other things are getting to be more important than football. You know, and you're trying to balance everything. It's hard for me to still do it. You still want to do it, obviously, but you know, it's your actions now reflect on other people in your life, your family, obviously your kids. It's probably a hindrance to family life, if you know what I mean. Here comes the army now. Well, that's the crack. How'd you get on?
There's nights where it just gets on my nerves. He could be into work at 5 o'clock, get his dinner, pack his bag, and away he goes. My goodness, they're filthy. I know. The dinner plate would still be sitting on the table. You know, the children would be just going mad, and I'd have to get them ready for bed, get them settled, you know, and he'd just walk out to the door and I'd be going, this has to stop, you know, it has to stop. But then, you know, their daddy's this man, he's the goalkeeper, and, you know, something to look up to and something to be proud of. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It can be lonesome, do you know what I mean? It can be lonesome.
I've sort of come to terms with it that this will probably be my last season, but I think it's coming down to that point where, you know, it would be indulgent of me probably to play much longer.
Jamie has decided to bow out of the team.
You know, I don't think I want enough, and I just want to be true to myself and, you know, be up 100%, and I just don't think I'm, you know, I want other things, so.
Get whatever you need out of your system. You know we're here for you when you go home, all right? Okay.
Cheers, son. Thank you. Oh, too bad. Softball. In the morning.
What on for? Life?
I don't know.
The people of Cross are trying to balance this thing of be the first person ever to leave Cross in the middle of the championship. And that sounds silly, doesn't it? You know, but if it's the first time that's ever happened, he set a precedent. So that in itself is new and unusual, and that's a big talking point.
It's not easy for us, me looking at Jamie, at the talent he has and what he could give to us. But it's his life at the end of the day.
You know, there's a lot more to life than, you know, than kicking a ball over a bar, you know.
Our season hangs on this. That's an obvious thing to say because we'll bet we're gone. This is the biggest game of our season.
With Jamie gone, the team is under more pressure than ever.
Not having Jamie on our team makes us vulnerable in many ways, you know.
John Murtagh is now critical to the forward line.
Okay, boys, we'll name the team, all right? Paul Herty in goals, Paul McCune, Aidan Rush. Midfield is David, Mickey Mack, Stephen Kiernan, Tony Kiernan, Kyle Caraha, Kyle Brennan and Kunz in the corner. Okay? That's the way we're starting, boys.
John isn't named in the starting lineup.
Doesn't really matter.
What he doesn't know is that he's being penalised for flouting the alcohol ban a second time.
Yeah, what's the problem?
You tell us.
You drinking it again? No.
You're telling Lisa.
Not telling Lisa.
You're telling Lisa.
Who said I was drinking again?
The person who was drinking with you. You're going to stand here and look me in the eye and tell me you weren't drinking.
I wasn't drinking.
3 weeks ago, lads, we said we needed to improve. And for 3 weeks we've worked on everything. There's no mistakes today. We're a better side. The way to prove it, lads, is in the first 10 minutes. We want to hit this ground hard.
There's two types of teams in the world. An honest team and the rest. We're an honest team. We get out here with an honesty of hard work. 15 battles to be won. We win the battle!
It's not happening out there in that forward line. It's just not happening, okay?
We're playing hard, boys. We are playing hard. Now we need to play hard and smart.
After half-time, John is brought on as a substitute. John helps Crossmaglen win the semi-final.
That was a real battle, boys. A real battle. And we come out on top. Because that's what we do best. But I don't know about you, but I'm happy, boys. I'm fucking happy. Don't look it, but I am. I'm happy.
Live by myself. I love it. It's nice and quiet. Thank God. If you have too many distractions, it's a bad thing.
With time to reflect, John wishes he hadn't lied to his managers.
It happened so quick. It was just like an immediate answer, you know, just to try and do anything to get playing. And then whenever I get home and got a chance to take it all in, it really didn't sit well with me that I did lie to 2 teammates. And I was sick about it, to be honest with you. I rang Oisin the next day and apologised to him and said, look, I was going to fight twice as hard then to get back in again. And that's just what I've done since. Nothing else is more important to me than football. Not work, you know, not this house, not getting married and settling down. You know, none of them things comes in the equation. Only football. Only that team.
This is the team that's starting, boys, because we're going to need every single man in order to get across the line. Paul Herty in goals, Fiddler, Aidan Rush, Paul McKeown, Paul Hughes, Fish, James Morgan, Johnny and Dave, Mickey Mack, Stephen Kernan, Tony Kernan, Kyle Caraha, Rico, and John Morton.
These boys don't know yet, boys. It doesn't matter if we start well or not, because we're relentless, boys. Relentless. We don't stop, boys. From the first minute to the last.
Hey, look it, rock in the face.
Crossmaglen are the Armagh champions for the 19th time in 20 years. Next, they take on Ulster. Last year's crushing defeat in round 1 will be at the forefront of their minds. Oisin has been contacted by a former soldier once stationed at Crossmaglen who's now involved in reconciliation work. Oisin has agreed to meet him.
This sign was one of the first things we saw. I think it perfectly exemplifies the attitude soldiers use to deal with any given situations. Dark humour and a kind of fatalistic humour. Don't worry, be happy. Welcome XMG. I would have been fearful of the club because in my head the Gaelic club is where all the local volunteers in the local IRA active service unit would sit and come up with their plans to hit the army patrols, of which I'm a member. It was a general attitude amongst the soldiers that Gaelic, i.e. nationalist, i.e. Republican, equals our enemy.
As far as I was concerned, you were the enemy. You were, I suppose, invading. We used to have no ball catcher at the back, and we used to kick the ball, and the ball used to go into the barracks. And sometimes, depending, I suppose, who was in there, would kick it back, and sometimes they wouldn't, you know.
And sometimes they'd burst it and throw it back that way.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I didn't do it, and I know of people.
Are you sure?
I didn't. I didn't. It was most of the time when I saw the pitch was coming across in the links.
Yeah. Do you resent the fact that you ended up here?
I kind of resent that very little regard was given to us soldiers as individuals. They could afford to lose a few of us without worrying about too much adverse publicity, and that seemed a wanton risk of soldiers' life. There was a cost for, or a potential cost, or a cost for all of us.
For everybody.
a cost that didn't have to be expended.
It was a watershed moment. From a personal point of view, I didn't think I'd be shaking hands with a British Army officer. And it's something that proves how much everybody has moved on.
Army engineers moved into Crossmaglen this morning and began dismantling the observation post, which has monitored all movement in the village square since 1976.
With the ceasefire in place, the army began to move out of Crossmaglen. The land commandeered nearly a quarter of a century earlier was eventually handed back to the club.
We are here tonight witnessing a splendid development, and that the facility here at the disposal of the people will make this place, great and all as it is already, a better place for everyone to live in.
It's the first round of the 2015 Ulster Championship.
Today is the day we get our redemption, lads!
At this stage last year, Crossmaglen were knocked out.
50 minutes gone in the second half, Mark, and it's Crossmaglen 1 goal and 12 points, Corrigan 9 points.
That's brilliant, lads. That gets us the next round. We're going out into a cauldron of pressure, lads, that we've created for ourselves, because we thrive in that cauldron.
Crossmaglen are through to the Ulster Club final. And this time, they have a secret weapon. The prodigal son has returned to Cross.
There was a part of me that has unfinished business to do.
Anything yet?
There's only one team that can beat us, boys, and you're looking at them.
Pressure, boys! Hands on! Tackle! Give it a take!
Fuck, did that happen?
Ref, alone! Alone! Alone!
Can we get an assessment where we are with injuries? Aaron Kernan. Tony Kernan. Stephen Kernan. Johnny. James. Right, okay. We need a lot of movement in there, lads. And when we get opportunities, we need to kick them over the bar. Okay?
Good advice at half time.
Are they going to win this year?
I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Oh, we have to be confident, don't you?
Yeah.
Going to a match, you have to be confident.
Since we started winning, we started to realise what success did for everybody else. It shapes our lives in a way. It's just a little bit more sweet when you're Ulster champions and you're preparing to go ahead and win an All-Ireland.
You going, Jenny? No, I'm not able to go, but I'm watching the TV.
We're watching on the TV.
How am I going to get off?
Oh, you'll have to.
I can't believe this happening to me. Yeah.
I can't wait. Up the Rangers!
We have no reason to do anything stupid today, boys. We are as honest as we can be. If we bring our A game, boys, they might as well jump on the bus now. We're inspiring people all around the country. We can fucking inspire the next generation, boys. But see this generation here, boys, we have a big stamp to leave. Nothing that they throw at us is good enough to beat us, boys. Nothing. When we hit that field today, boys, we are a different animal than we've ever been. In 20 years, we're a different animal than we've ever been before. Kick a point, kick a point. Come on!
Crossmaglen have really started this game at a huge pace, at 100 miles an hour, and they've been the dominant force here.
Come on again, Johnny! Come on, Jimmy! Come on, look!
The angle is really, really tight, but that's a magnificent point from Jamie Clark. It's 8 points to 4. Crossmaglen Rangers lead.
It wouldn't take an experienced analyst to say, lads, we completely dominate that half. But you wouldn't think that on the scoreboard, sure you wouldn't? Cut the mistakes down. We've done enough mistakes, okay? We have to keep our composure, boys. They're going to come at us hard. See these first 5 minutes? We do the exact same thing that we did the first half. Is that clear? 5 minutes, lads. That's it. First 5.
Right on cue as the second half gets underway. And again, it's Jamie Clark gets the kick in. Oh, saved on the crossbar by Rory Byrne. That's a great pointer, is it? Yes, it is. Just 2 points between the teams, and it is another score. Make it now 8 points to 7. Game on here. Yeah, certainly come back here by Castlebar. Castlebar have started very, very strongly, and the running forward is a key.
Gavin, warm up. Come on. Bobo, warm up. Come on.
2.5 minutes to go. The sides are level at 12 points apiece. Ball played down along the sideline.
Crossmaglen have been defeated by a single point.
Castlebar are going through to the All-Ireland final.
Crossmaglen will be hugely disappointed.
What a game, what a finish, what an end.
We wanted us to take the lads and we did our best in our All-Ireland semi-final, and it wasn't to be in the day. We've had knocks before and we got back up after. It made us bigger and better men. So well done, lads, and it's been a privilege working with you the past 2 years.
There's just one saying that springs to mind today, and that's staying with our boots on, and that's what we did, boys. We did with our boots on.
Until the boys became successful, we were known as the town the army took over. And now we're known for the successful town that we are.
It gives people in town hope. It gives them something outside of the norm, something special that nobody else can recreate for them.
Without Crossmaglen Rangers, our community wouldn't be as strong as they are.
That constant striving for being the best will never stop.